on the journey. Give y'all some time to come in. Let's find us. Started the show music. Oh my God. Let's see. There we go.
Peace, this is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, send the poor and the fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, He your God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, and thou shalt inherit all nations. Allahu Akbar.
This is Kadar Fix, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Adnan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Adnan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
All right. What's up, Mr. Joe Berry?
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy.
This is Marina, and this is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
What a minute.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation out there. I want to give shout out to my mom. I give shout out to my dad for raising me and my family for being around me. And I want to give shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
This is Cleveland, and you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Peace, Hotep. It's Mansour Hotep, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity doesn't sound good, I think it sounds great. Right now, you listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry its name. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. Peace. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry your name. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. And you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace.
This call is being recorded.
This is Gina.
This is Gina.
And you are now
Now you listen to my daddy.
on Gye-Nyame
Gye-Nyame Journey
Radio.
Radio.
Peace.
Peace.
What's up? What's up, family? What's up? We got one more commercial. Give me a little bit more time to get stuff together.
I am a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my potent sinner. I pledge to find and connect with my sinner. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and go beyond all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame warrior and to assist all those seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, to teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That is the Gye-Nyame pledge that is said by all of our true members at least once a day. Peace and welcome to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos and podcasts. Subscribe as well as join the journey. Push past your self-imposed limitations within the Gye-Nyame journey. Peace.
Alright, family, we are here. We are live. Let's get this show started. Let's get it rocking the only way we know how. Introducing. Brother, oh my God, I wasted water on my damn computer. Oh shit. How y'all doing? The black signal has went out. We're about to start the show. Hopefully the computer ain't messed up. We gotta let our coffee sit for a second. Damn, I ain't got a coffee cup. I left my coffee cup outside. Woke up late. I sat down, took me a nap. I was about to be like, nah, we ain't gonna have the show today. But then I thought about the folktale because I was thinking about the folktale all day. And I said, we have got to talk about this folktale. We have got to sit down and have this discussion because it's important for all of us. So I'm going to get me a substitute coffee cup. I'm going to go and get me a substitute coffee cup. We're going to make it happen tonight. All right. So the black signal has been sent out. Okay, we got a lot of people on here. And I think we got some people on the line. All right, we got Brother Quasi on the line. So let's see what's going on. Let's read some of these comments before we even get started. I want to thank everybody who took the time to join us for the show. I'm sorry for the slowness. Shouts out to Brother Showberry. Shouts out to Sister Jackie. What the topic for the day? The topic for the day is the folktale. And the folktale is called The Patridge and the Fowler. And this one is good for conversation. This is, oh my God. Punk ass chump just lied his ass off. Who, Jackie? Blacks and Hispanics are hit hardest by the drug trafficking Mexicans coming into the country. You talking about the Great Pumpkin? I mean, that's what he gonna do. Why even get mad about that motherfucker? Listen, we know, Jack. We know that. Blacks and Hispanics are hit hardest by the drug trafficking Mexicans coming into this country. I mean, trying to pull us into the fray. That's what you do. You got to get allies. You got to get allies on your side. And today, we're about to talk about allies and enemies. Sister Jackie says, I was like, really, bitch? Don't bring us into your foolishness. And the Hispanics were probably looking at the screen like, yo, Carol, go to hell. Oh, she's so mad she's speaking Spanish. I didn't know she spoke Spanish. What the hell? Uh-oh, Democrats turn. Shaking my head. It's about to go down, family. The world is ablaze. The United States government is closed. We are on the verge of the Great Pumpkin taking emergency powers so that we could build a wall. I mean, people got it sounding like motherfuckers just rolling into this motherfucker, right? Like you gonna build a fence and all of a sudden there ain't gonna be no drugs on the street. You know what I'm saying? America got the most sophisticated military in the world. And all of a sudden now it's gonna be a wall that's gonna stop everybody. Right? So we got Brother Quasi on the line. Look like Brother Quasi, you still there? You just listening in, or you ready? I hope y'all ready for this, cause this one right here, man.
I'm here.
This one
I
right
just wanted to say real quick.
Go ahead.
They might know I don't know, the United States military. They might not have to. I mean, they spend the most and got the biggest budget, but Russia, from what I hear, just got a new weapon that is a game changer, and we ain't got nothing that can defend against it or stop it or compete with it. So maybe, if that's true, maybe that's part of why all of this posturing is going on.
What you mean? Like, what type of weapon? What are you talking about?
A missile that travels so fast that they can't stop it. Travels from such a distance and accurately that they can't detect it. They basically, we are like a boxer. You know, we're like being attacked with our hands being tied behind our back. I guess we, as far as that's concerned, because the American public is who will be attacked, who will be a victim of that. You know, I'm not saying that any of this stuff is in the works, but I'm pretty sure that it was a reputable source where I saw that Russia has developed and is producing a weapon that is at the peak of technology that we can't neither replicate or defend against.
Well, you know, if they talking about it, they know about it. If they know about it, you know, I mean, it's a possibility. You know, Russia could have caught America with their pants down, but being amongst some of the most warlike motherfuckers on this planet, I don't know. I'm just gonna say that we amongst some of the most war-mongering motherfuckers in the history of the world. They got some shit up their sleeves too. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, if a missile does fly that we can't see, more than likely they ain't gonna hit none of the areas we in, because none of the ghettos or none of the places where we live are key strategic places that they would want to hit. Alright, but let's get to this folktale, family. This folktale tonight is a game changer. I read it this morning, so people had hours to think about it like I did, because this is one of those rare folktales where we get it. Because remember, I don't go through the book and pick the folktales. We've been going through an order. And this is one of those that really make you think. This is one of those that let you know that this book was never really ever really created just for children. This book is a true strategic document that help people learn how to think. And I want y'all to really listen very closely to this folktale. And I want y'all to type in. I want y'all to call in. I put the call-in line number up. For those that might can't read it, it's 614-556-4535. Right? So I want y'all to get ready. Because when I read this morning, I said, damn. This is coming possibly at a critical time, and I think it's very important. So I know there's a lot of build-up, but we're going to go to another commercial break. Why I decided, I'm just joking with y'all. I wish I had a commercial break to go to, but here we go. Listen up. This is called The Patridge and the Fowler. For those that don't know, a partridge is not a family that sings. Because I know that's what some of you black folks out there thinking. You know what I'm saying? The partridge family. No, we're not talking. A partridge is a bird. Kind of look like a pigeon, I guess. Damn, I should have looked it up. And a fowler, spelled Fowler, is someone that catches birds. All right? Coming from the word fowl, Fowl, which is another word for bird. A fowler caught a partridge and was about to kill it. The partridge earnestly begged him to spare his life, saying, "Pray, master, permit me to live, and I will entice many partridges to you in recompense for your mercy to me." The fowler replied, "I shall now with less scruples take your life, because you are willing to save it at the cost of betraying your friends and relations." Did y'all hear that one? Did y'all hear that one? And can you see the importance to the discussion that we need to have in our family, in our tribes, in our community? I'm going to read it one more time. Then we're going to go through and we're going to start breaking this down, pulling it apart, reconstructing it, bringing it forward into the present moment, looking at it in past events, and looking at the danger of us not learning the lesson from this tale that we was told that was for children. That's obviously not. A fowler caught a partridge and was about to kill it. The partridge earnestly begged him to spare his life, saying, "Pray, master, permit me to live, and I will entice many partridges to you in recompense for your mercy to me." The Fowler replied, "I shall now with less scruple take your life, because you are willing to save it at the cost of betraying your friends and relations." The shit that would have solidified the Democrat argument was to align themselves with the Californians, the lost $5 billion worth of houses. That lost $5 billion worth of houses. Please ring the alarm when you drop that folktale. It's fire. Oh yes. Thank you. Somebody reminded me. This is the second time somebody had to remind me. Fuckery alert. Be aware of those partridge-like niggas around you. Be aware. They are out here. Some are armed and dangerous. Partridge-like niggas around you. Beware. All right. Quasi, you want to hit it first, or you want me to go in on this one, man?
Yeah, I was just thinking about how Donald Trump, that whole shit Donald Trump was just saying. He said the Mexicans, the illegal Mexicans are coming across the border and have the biggest they're coming across the border at the biggest detriment, and the biggest detriment is to the African American community. So basically, he was like, "Hey, niggas, American niggas, black niggas, whatever. These Mexican niggas is about to start coming over here and taking y'all shit. So unless y'all want to, unless y'all want to lose y'all jobs, unless y'all want to lose out, I need y'all to ride with me against them."
Now,
so if we fall for that shit, we deserve what the fuck we get.
But I got to ask this question, and I know a lot of my family gonna get mad. Is he wrong?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna get mad, but yeah, of course he's wrong. I'm not gonna get mad.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
cool. I'm gonna ask
definitely
you.
Wrong.
I'm gonna ask you to prove that point. I know Jackie out there typing up like a motherfucker right now. Somebody tell me, how is he wrong in that? Then we'll get back to the, because you took me to a whole nother place.
Well, I mean, wrong and right is so subjective, so I definitely do have to kind of take a step back and say, my first thought, I mean, I think Mexicans have some of the biggest claim to being natives to this land, and the whole line of what is theirs and what is Mexico. I mean, I don't know if that is something that culturally that they even agree with in the first place. So, I mean, I don't know, like that whole colonialization imposition on that weighs into it now for me. That, you know, some people might not agree with that, and that's fine. But as far as I'm concerned, that weighs into it. So I'm gonna just stop right there. I don't know if you want to respond to that, if you want to go in a different direction.
Well, because I'm an advocate of reparations, and I just want to know how will Mexicans come across the border affect our argument for reparations? I'm just like, when it comes to politics, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely black first. And I have to look out for our interests. So I asked the question, how is he wrong with what he's saying? So now, because what Jackie said was that we're going to be the hardest hit by drugs and blah, blah, blah.
I think she was quoting him.
Right.
That was what he literally said.
Right. Now, she quoting him on that piece. I might be able to hear him.
Yeah, that was literally what I was just watching this address. He said that. He literally just said that.
All right.
So she was probably quoting that.
Right. She quoting him. But my question is, How is he wrong? See, because a lot of times we got to understand, man, politics is a selfish game. It's a very selfish game. And a lot of us, we're not really willing to play it. You know what I'm saying? We're not really willing to play the game that it requires for us to actually get what we deserve. Because now, one of the major issues is when we let people into the country, what is their depth of knowledge about black people in America and the effect that black people have had on America? We are one of the only populations that have absolutely nowhere to go. So when it comes to being Americans, we are. So the question that I always got to keep in mind, the question that I always got to keep in mind when we're dealing with any of this stuff that's going on politically, how does it affect me and how will it affect my children? Because one of the major things that Obama used to talk against reparation was, well, what about everybody else? All those people who had absolutely no benefit from slavery, why should they have to pay? Shit like that. I'm not trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because America, we know, is built up on standing on our necks. And the more people we get in between that don't know the history and don't really give a damn about the history, and soon as their political agenda is met, they may forget us. I'm not on that shit. I'm not on that. So I
don't know how. Okay, so this is a different perspective because I don't think I really know. I tend to want to disagree with that. I tend to think
that's what it's for. That's what it's for.
I mean, I do understand that we have a specific history here, and I was just thinking about what you were saying as far as like we don't have anywhere else to call homeland. But I think that what like imperialism and colonialism colonization did was separate all of the people of color that I think in some way, shape, or form, what I think of as indigenous people around the world, I think has some maybe loose or tight-knit, some type of structure.
Solidarity.
Some type of society that was on some level.
You're looking for international solidarity between native peoples.
I'm not saying that that's what I'm looking for. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think that's what colonization and imperialism broke up. I think that's what the system was on the planet before the current system. So I think, while I do understand that we have a specific, I think that we have a specific claim to a debt from the people that have all of the wealth at this point in time. I think we have a specific claim to that. I can't help but think that our biggest ally is the fact that we are a global kind of presence. You know what I mean? I don't know how to kind of say that.
You know why it's hard to say? You know why it's hard to say?
Why?
Because it don't exist.
Why? Of course it doesn't exist now.
I mean, what I'm saying is, and the whole global piece that you're discussing, if we go back prior to colonialism, we had groups looking out for themselves. Just like right now, we still have groups looking out for themselves. And the only thing I'm suggesting is that as black people, we need to look out for ourselves, because when we take care of ourselves, we can turn around and help other people. But until we step up and start looking out for us, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody else is going to look out for us. That's my only point. Nobody has looked out for us.
My thing, I guess, to take it back to the original story, I think that what I like to stay away from saying white people. I don't know, it just sounds so bland. No, well, so many puns intended. But in that story, it seems like the colonizer is what's that word? The
Fowler?
The bird catcher? That word?
Fowler.
The Fowler. White culture is the Fowler culture. Whiteness kind of seems to be this hunting analogy. It fits into the hunter to capture analogy. And then the Patridge, the various types of, so let's say the captured partridge is black people.
Okay.
And then the other partridges that are still, quote unquote, free. What if black people? What if our biggest the thing that we could best do for ourselves and others is unite everybody? What if trying to, and I'm just asking the question, what if trying to only operate on our behalf is the best way to put us in a position to where we're powerless?
You say so you say there's a possibility that us working for our own interests would depower us.
I'm asking a question.
Okay, cool. And I just want to be clear on the question. So now let me ask this. How much more powerless could we become?
Because I think we're more powerful. I think we're less powerless than like Brazilian poor people. Them motherfuckers is powerless.
Yeah. Now check
we're
this out.
powerful enough to be on the radio talking to potentially thousands of people.
And that shit is beautiful, ain't it? And the point I'm saying is, how much more would I be able to help people if I actually had access to capital and groups of people with capital? I.e. me and you. Rather than continuously ending up in this loop that we're going around in, because it's like boom, like I said, if we're in a plane, the first instruction you get is to put on your own mask before you try to help somebody else. We're in a plane, the shit is going down.
You're right.
And we talking about, hey, let's help everybody else. Hey, put on your mask. Hey, put on your mask.
And I'm not necessarily taking a stance. That's the thing that I want to say. I'm not necessarily taking a stance. I'm just saying that I'm exploring. I just left for training with Tiandra, and I did a personality assessment, and I learned that my personality type is a debater.
Yes, you are.
And one of the things that one of the things that I seek to do is to kind of seek out truth through opposition.
And and like I said, that's a beautiful thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because what you do is you allow for other people to pick through the doubts in their argument, or you make you know what I'm saying, without necessarily doing it in such an aggressive way where I ain't trying to hear you, because I'm hearing you because at one point in time I'm like, boom, we got to all unite. But now I'm sitting up here, I'm running around, I'm looking at my kids, I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm sitting up here like, damn, we're in a messed up situation. But now, let's pull off from Donald Trump, and let's pull off from the colored people of the world, unite type shit right now, and let's get to the folktale, because I got a whole bunch of comments. The story of Miss Jackie says, the story of how we fell for slavery. We sold our brothers and sisters for gun to protect the king. Joe Berry say, no, because they doing it now, but they still together where we don't. Jacqueline C. Brooks, she say, that's how the Antichrist works. Hold on, oh my God, there's a whole lot of them. God damn, I told you this story's hot. No, because they doing it now, says Joe Berry, but they still together, we don't. That was his whole reason for saying it, right? So, because to cause conflict, I think that's what Jackie is saying, to pull us in, right? You want to pull us in. Into an argument, to a discussion, to one, because also this is a smoke screen too, because basically we got to know that right now what's happening with enough white folks not getting their checks, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is getting mad, they dusting off their guns, you know what I'm saying? They getting their pitchforks together, so we know that the Great Pumpkin got to throw out a smoke screen right now. And right now, the smoke screen that he throwing out is, all right, let's niggas. And hell, you know what I'm saying? They gonna get y'all too. All right, hold on. To pull us in. That's how the Antichrist work. That's Jackie. She comparing the Great Pumpkin to the Antichrist. Don't get sold again for the gun, says Jacqueline. Joe Berry say, we axe black has no unity, where Mexicans has unity, so they going to slip right past. That should have been, we as black has no unity. And that's Joe Barry. Mexicans stick together, we don't. All right. So, we go on the argument. So now, but hold on, let's bring it back because let's break down this piece. Now, Quasi, I want to focus your mind. Focus your debating and dissecting mind. I wish Lady J would call in so we could kind of get, because she do a little bit of that too, right? And look at this proverb, because Jackie says this is what happened to us in the past. Now, let's just focus on the first part of the proverb. A fowler caught a partridge and was about to kill it. The partridge earnestly begged him to spare his life, saying, "Pray, master, permit me to live, and I will entice many partridges to you in recompense for your mercy to me." Those out there, where have we seen that before? Where have we seen that in the past? Where have we seen that in our life right now? Is the question that I think we really need to be dealing with, because if we're talking about tribe building, right? Because right now, I pray that everybody is finding those people around you that you can trust just in case. I hope some of y'all are circling your wagons, and I hope some of y'all are now seriously taking when Brother Hatim is screaming out it's time for us to build tribe, right? Because like I said, because we could be at a point where right now we need to be looking for those partridges like this. We have a partridge that's just being who he is, who get caught by its enemy, and the first thing it does, it begs for his life. Why does it beg for its life? Why, Quasi? Why is the partridge begging for his life?
I mean, that's all it knows. It's disconnected. If it was more connected to what it meant to be a partridge, then it would be more concerned about losing everything than its own life,
I just want to be alive.
It's definitely misinformed. It's a misinformed partridge.
You so nice. It's a misinformed partridge. It's a partridge that's so connected to its life that it thinks that its life is more important than the group's life. And all of us work with people that look like us like that. All of us know people like that. That my own existence is more important than every other person that looks like me. Every other person in the tribe's life is not as important as mine. And so this is one of the reasons why that question that I had Cleve recite, when we be like, what must a warrior do to be great? They must die. Explain. They must die to the 7 unbalanced passions. Because what this partridge is dealing with is the first of the 7 unbalanced passions. And that one is fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of death. And because this Fowler has him in his hands, the only thing that's flashing through this partridge's mind is a fear of death. And he's willing, or she's willing, to do anything to escape that death. Now, black folks, this has been a description of us for a very long time now. To be the most spiritual, the most connected people in the world, we are exhibiting a lot of behaviors, when you really break it down, that have absolutely nothing to do with spirituality, with believing in a higher power, and that's fear. But go ahead.
I like to carry play scenarios out in different ways. Imagine different things happen and see what will happen. See what type of questions I end up asking.
Okay.
Let's imagine that the partridge was able to. Let's imagine that the partridge was able to successfully game up the Fowler, and the Fowler was like, you know what? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Right.
But then the Fowler wasn't a dummy. The Fowler put one of them little tracking device things on the little bird on the partridge's leg. So now the partridge knows, okay, I'm not about to just run away. I really owe this dude some of my partridge homies. So we went back to the village and got some. He ran his game, got the partridge homies to come, and then when the Fowler came through, he took 3 of the partridge homies, and they never came back. So they probably worked out something where he could not be detected by the other Fowlers, right, or the other partridges. But he knew in his mind and his heart and in his body language and his very essence of being, everything about him was a betrayer now. So he's going to try to fit back into society because he don't have nowhere else to go. Where else you going to go? You know? He was a partridge for a reason.
He's a partridge.
He was a partridge.
What you call him? Well, what you call him?
So now where you going to go? So now you alienated.
Wait, I just want to go back. You called him the partridge. He had to give up some of his partridge homies.
he had to give up some of the partridge homies, man. He said he had to deliver, right? He said he was going to because the dude know where he's going at, so he know where he's at, so he gonna kill him. So let's,
right.
He gotta pay. He gotta pay up.
He gotta pay up, and the price that he paying is deeper than money. It's deeper than property. He giving up his soul. When somebody turns, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When somebody gives up who they are, they give up their soul. I mean, that's too high. I mean, at some point in time, we got to look at each other and be like, yo, family, that's too high of a price to pay. And we've been paying this price, or at least having people around us that we know will pay this price. And you can tell those around you because they talk about money, money, money. Talk about getting the bag all the goddamn time. This is all they concerned about is getting the money. Give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about, you know what I'm saying? Some of us came up with homies like that. You know what I'm saying? I saw a couple of brothers like that, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get away from these niggas because I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing good with them. I can't do nothing bad with them because these motherfuckers are just truly dangerous, and the first chance they get, they gonna get rid of me. I can't fuck with you. I can't fuck with you. You gonna betray me. I already know. You gonna put me in a situation where I'm going to have to die. We got Partridge. We are the Partridge homies. That motherfuckers will give up because they fear death. Not even looking for a goddamn reward. I mean, would you think about this shit? He's not asking for anything but to live. So this means that he has to come back to this Fowler every day, and this Fowler could put him in a cage and give him just enough food to exist. Give him just enough room so that he can stay nimble enough to look like a partridge. Might even keep some of the partridge homettes, so that he could relieve his partridge loins every now and then. Sound familiar?
Right, because the Fowler is selling all these partridges. He's getting all this money from these partridge thighs and wings and breasts. So, he coming up. So he can afford, not only he's going to the sellout partridge, not only does he get to live, but he's going to give him a little bit partridge bling, you know what I mean? So he can,
right. So
it's because the game has changed. Now the other partridges don't want to mess with him for real because the secret is out. You can't keep that. You can't hide that for long. So now he's really hanging with the Fowler like Fowler then gave him what the Fowler thinks is of value. So the partridge then decided that he's going to hold that stuff in value because it's pretty, sure, nice, it's shiny.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but now let's go to the second part of the story, because the second part of the story is very important to me, because this is a lesson that we have to start making sure that we pass down, especially within Gye-Nyame family, because the bottom line is, if you watch gangster movies, there is a rule in gangster movies, and there's a rule, an unspoken rule, that the individual that does what that Patridge does either gets it right away or gets it later. Because you as a leader cannot allow that shit to exist, even from the other side. Because if he sold his own people out, imagine what if he get a thumbs up on you, what he gonna do? You can't, you even as the master, because think about how he turned around and he started calling this man a master. You know what I'm saying? Not that you are a great skill. I'm just so fearful of you. I'm just trying to humble you, master. Bissa? Master? Please. What does this Fowler do? This Fowler follows the rules. What's the rules? He tells him, I'm going to say his words, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring it in English. The Fowler tells him, I shall now with less scruple take your life, because you are willing to save it at the cost of betraying your friends and relations. See, family, and this is what we got. This is how you push this lesson even deeper. If me and Kwesi got beef, and one of Kwesi's number one dudes come to me and be like, yo, I know how your crew could take out Kwesi's crew. Be like, oh yeah, go on, talk to me, holler at me. You know, I just need blah, blah, blah. I got you, dog. Don't worry about it. What's up? Right? All right, you just at 12 noon, right? You leave the spot. I come in, or I send some people in, they gonna handle that, and I will see you later to give you a reward if it all pans out. I go in, I do what I do with Kwesi's and them people. I send somebody in, we do what we do with Kwesi's people. And you know what we have to do immediately? What am I required to do immediately, Kwesi? You still there?
Report back?
No.
Yeah, I'm here.
No.
You got to report back, I'm assuming.
No. Listen. Your dude that betrayed you, right, has to get his comeuppance. Because now, one, this dude is a traitor. He is of no use to me. I'm about to give him some resources that I can give resources. The resources that I'm about to give him are resources that I give to people inside my tribe. Why would I do that?
Oh, yeah, right. You got to get rid of him.
Oh, he got to go. Oh, there's no place for him in my crew. There's no place for him in life. And if he's waiting for me with the bag, I will walk in with the bag and I will take care of him and I will distribute what I will give him to all those around me, setting an example. Treachery is not allowed in our ranks, nor will it be accepted. Because if I let him live, what that says, tell somebody on my crew is, well, damn, since you let him live, maybe the next guy that might be after you, if I betray you, I could live.
Not just that person is going to betray you. He's going to tell your secrets to another crew, so to speak.
How you say it
again? He's a dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Dangerous as fuck. That sound like Miss Tracy. Dangerous. You can't keep him around.
That's me.
You can't keep him around.
You're a ninja. You just popped up like I almost had a heart attack. I'm looking over my shoulder like, who that?
Family, we got to understand. See, and this is a rule that has been transmitted through the generations as a children's folk tale. This father looked at this dude and be like, look, I can't even use you. I'm not even going to use you. As a matter of fact, because you offered up your family and your relations, I know you foul anyway. So without any scruples, without any sadness, without any regrets, I'm going to kill you now. I'm going to kill you now. You see what I'm saying? For some reason, we think that we could betray who we are. We think that we could sell our souls. And we think that we could live a whole healthy life. It's not even in the cards. It's an unwritten rule inside of every successful group that traitors within, that's treason, you need to die, and traitors from outside. As soon as your usefulness is over, I eliminate you as well. Basic rule. Basic rule. Now, we can see the same thing happening when they get done using up one of us. We can see it in entertainment. We can see it in sports. We can see it in business. Soon as they're done with you, you betrayed your people. I have no use for you. You using up resources that I give to little Jimmy. I ain't got time to be, no. You know what I'm saying? And we can see him falling down. But we don't realize that's what's happening because we're operating outside of the rules of every other successful group. And what's even crazier about it, the basic rules that they are surviving and thriving on were rules that we laid down a long time ago. As a matter of fact, we put them in folktales so that we can not only teach the adults, but we can teach the kids. Family, it's sense that we passed on. Like I called it, that crystallized wisdom that's sitting right there, and we be missing it. We're trying to pick up traitors and dust them off and trying to save them. No. Because if there was a traitor once, they're going to be a traitor again. Because the one thing that works against them, they always fear something bigger. And for us to be as spiritual and as religious and we got so many goddamn traitors, so many people so fearful, so many people with the unbalanced passion, especially the first one, fear, operating in their soul, that it tells us that maybe we might be wrong about who we really think we are. I'm just saying, I got people running around here talking about their God that you know, they're not even willing, they're not willing to lay down their life. They'll tell you what you should have did or what you could have did or how, you know what I'm saying? But they have never put their life or ever will put their life at risk. They'll give your family up. And this is a harsh truth. But this is one of the reasons that our people built our cultures up on rites of passage. And this is why people try to take our rites of passage, dust it off, clean it up a little bit, remove certain important points, you know what I'm saying, and then give it back to us as just a group of young people that just come together because they want to be raised right so that they can live in society. Come on, family. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You think the Maroons was just, trying to raise their kids so that they can live in society? Yeah, in their society. Taking care of their own folk. That's the only piece I'm saying, family. Listen, we know that within Gye-Nyame, we got family. We got family and we got deep ties with our brown brothers and sisters. Whether they want to call them Hispanics or Latinos, we got deep ties with them. But the only thing I'm constantly going back to is that would I be betraying my own people if I was to reach out and work with everybody else first? I'm saying I have to turn the minds first, because how's anybody else gonna trust me if I'm coming by my goddamn self? Where your people at? Why you don't? When I show up with peoples. I show up with my family. Oh, we coming for the ceremony. When I found the sweat lodge here, I didn't go as an individual. I took one person with me and I followed the rituals that my older brother told me. I said, my people need to sweat. He said, y'all welcome. Come on. We family. But one of the major rules is we always have to take care of ourselves first, because if we don't take care of ourselves, we start falling off. And when we falling off, we can't help nobody. We betray ourselves. We're betraying our relations. What do you call it? He said you're betraying your friends and your relations. And we got people around us like this all the goddamn time. But yet we don't know how to read what it is. We ain't got words for it. We can say little fancy things like Uncle Tom, but as Lady J always bring out, because this is part of our confusion. Lady J brings this out. She says Uncle Tom was not the one that betrayed. It was Sambo. But many of us, because we don't read, because I could go and create a myth right now and put it out there as if it's an absolute fact, and some people wouldn't even take time to look the shit up. And that's what's been happening to us. Come on, family. It's real out here. We talk about war. We got strategies of war being used on us. How do I keep a unit from being able to fight? I get them to fight one another. As long as I keep them able to fight one another, I can start taking them off one at a time at my leisure. As a matter of fact, here's another story. And this is one of the ones I picked for the children. A fox and an ass was walking through the woods. The fox saw a lion coming, and he knew that they weren't going to be able to escape. So the fox tells the ass to chill for a second, and he goes and talks to the lion. I'll take care of it, ass. Now the ass and the ass and the fox was cool. The fox go over to the lion and be like, "Yo, check this out, man. You look hungry, right? And you know that ass look like a good meal over there. So if I help you get that ass, will you let me go?" Lion says, "Yeah, I will. That's a good idea. Yes, little brother, go ahead." So the ass tricks the fox tricked the ass and put the ass in a hole that the ass can't get out of, and he reports back to the lion. Miss Tracy, what did the lion do to the fox?
He ate him too.
He ate him first and went back and ate that. Go ahead.
Yeah, he ate both of them because he felt like it was something about for him to do that to his friend. He deserved to be ate too.
You deserve to be ate too. He ate the fox immediately, and because the ass was trapped, he ate the ass at his leisure. Another story where this comes out. You have the bear and the travelers. You got two travelers who pledge to each other. They're going to look out for each other. A bear comes running. One of the friends run and leave the other one because one of them didn't notice that the bear was coming. And the one friend figured that if I get away, you know what I'm saying, this bear will be satisfied with my so-called friend. So he leaves him. The friend don't know what's happening. He turns around. He sees the bear upon him. He drops and falls dead. Act like he dead. The bear smell him at his feet. Smell him at his knees. Smell around his waist. Smell up on his stomach. Smell up on his chest. And the man holding his breath trying to act like he dead. And then the bear start putting all his bear snot over the man's face. And the man don't move. And he like, I can't hold my breath too much longer. And then finally the bear look up at the tree and look back at the man and whispers in his ear. The bear turns around and leaves. And the man still lays there holding his breath. Opens up one eye. And his friend is in the tree. He say, "Woo, my friend, that was a close call. I seen the bear talking to you. What did the bear say?" The man got up, dusted himself off, and went in a totally different direction than the two friends was traveling in at first. He said, "The bear told me never trust a friend that would leave me in danger. Never to fuck with that man again." This message has been taught over and over again in these folk tales, family. And we miss them. Why? Because they children's stories. No, I keep telling y'all, when you look at the original reason why these stories was put together to educate adults. Then they descended to being used for children when adults thought they was too smart. I keep on telling you these things are layered, and we be missing the very lessons that our ancestors left for us to get out of this, because this is not a new situation for us. The dude who wrote this is said in legend that he was an African that was enslaved by Greeks.
Yeah, I kind of feel like where we are is kind of a situation where people repeatedly over the years, over centuries, over generations been saying what worse could happen. You know what I mean? And then the next generation is worse. Like, this is as bad as it can get. It can't get no worse than this. Then it gets worse. Or the other saying is you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality.
That's all I be trying to tell people, man.
Even going back to
go ahead.
Being a people who experienced the Middle Passage and bondage and all of that. And there had to be some fellow people. I mean, of course, we always remember the white people enslaved, whatever, but there was definitely some inside help.
It was some,
so it was that type of thing that I think those stories, because you talk about it being for adults and then getting kind of reduced to a children's story maybe, but I mean it also can be used as advice for groups, not just individuals, you know?
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. That's why we talk about folk tales for grown folks. Put the kids to bed, because I'm about to cuss.
No?
I'm about to cuss. See, because we got to remember, all
right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, shit.
Can you hear me, Quasi?
But yeah, so I think that it's definitely those stories, because they sound so.
Hold on, family. I have to go back in. Check 1, check 2.
This conference is being recorded by the organizer.
In a different way, like even today's passage with the partridge or whatever, as well as the fox and the donkey, or the ass. So they have the same. It's kind of like just telling a story. You know what I'm saying, in a way for a person to understand later. You know, it's like reading scripture where as you grow up, you get to get a different perception or interpretation of the scripture that you probably learned or known since you were younger. It's like as you grow older or become wiser, you begin to look at things differently. So you get to get the message differently. Or
it's called being layered.
I was thinking how you said that. You said how they. How Tim?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah. So we lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I had to hang up and call back in. Y'all be kicking me off my own damn conference call. I don't appreciate that shit. But go ahead.
Cheat codes, man. We know the cheat codes. But yeah, what you was just saying, I've been kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So you were saying, Tracy, about how sometimes it might be the same story over and over. I was thinking, it just occurred to me that maybe it's the same story with different endings, so we could kind of examine different outcomes of a similar situation, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, but it's also like you said, too, if you discussing it, when you're discussing it in the group, you get the different perception.
You get a different perception, right. And it's called being layered. Go ahead, Miss Tracy.
Because I can't help but to think about the partridge, besides, that wants to, that comes to the master or whatever, saying that they're trying to have their life saved. Spare me my life, and I'll go gather you others, and you can eat them. I'll still feed you. I couldn't help but to think of Birth of a Nation, where, you know, what if your master decided to go, hey, you know what, why don't you go ahead and, yeah, I'll let you live, and I'll create you a whole building, and you can invite others to come and, you know, break bread with you, and I'll come and eat them, or come and kill them, or whatever. It's, you know, using that setup. You know what I'm saying? Using that setup to the advantage. You know, just looking at stories in different ways. I promise you, when I watch movies now, it's so much, I can get so much within a movie now that if I'm talking to a small-minded person, no offense to anyone, then they're like, Tracy, it's just a movie. Versus talking to someone who could kind of get me, like, you know what, I didn't think about that. You see what I'm saying? I don't just look at just what's there. And Tip Top Decoded is the book that got me like that. Looking at a story or watching a movie where you don't just look at it for what it is. What are the hidden messages? What else is it saying? Because I took Black Panther in a whole different aspect. I just felt like the reason why Killmonger's plan didn't work is because the white man came and knocked it all down, so he couldn't execute his plan. That's how I felt about it.
So we got
I was a Killmonger fan.
We got Ms. Kimberly Newton shouts out. She said, podcast, brother. I'm hoping one day this happens. It's been happening. It's happening right now. We probably got some motherfuckers up in Washington right now. You know, we know we got people like this right now. Brother Kwame say, dispatch of him with extreme prejudice. Talking about the bird. Now, and one of the things I constantly tell people is remember that our folk tales have been layered. Our ancestors, we would teach lessons, and this is how you know how deep at one point in time we were able to have discussions of extreme importance in front of children, and children will be able to take the discussion where they were, and adults will be able to get a whole different message. But what we have to do is we got to make sure that we, in a sense, are speaking in a similar symbolic language so that we can get the understanding that we need. So I could tell me and Quasi and Miss Tracy could be having a conversation in front of our children, and it could be a deathly important conversation, and the children can hear what they need to hear, but Miss Tracy and Quasi will hear it in a way where they know what actions they need to take. That's where we were. That's where we were. You know what I'm saying? And it's like in many ways, we got to get back to that shit. We got to get back to being able to do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we don't want to be, and family, and that partridge at that point in time didn't want to be a partridge. When you start calling something master, the reason you start calling something master because the master is supposed to take you to another level. So that partridge wanted to be taken beyond the partridge level and be taken to the conqueror level, or become that man. That's the purpose of following a master. A master is supposed to elevate you. That partridge was seeking elevation from the state of being a partridge. Because he didn't realize, as Quasi said, because he didn't realize the fullness of being a partridge and being like, well, fuck it, I got caught. Let me try to escape. If I don't escape, rather than saying something like, hey man, I got some partridge homies you might be interested in feasting on. What kind of shit is that? Come on, man. But yo, I ain't gonna hold it up too much longer because we go over an hour and people start tuning out, and I definitely want to try to build up, you know what I'm saying, because this is a movement. We will be having our next warrior training on the 19th, Kaumba the 19th. You don't know the language, you need to learn the language. Anybody that want to be made aware of this particular show, this show is called Folktales for Grown Folks. You can text FFGF, which stands for Folktales for Grown Folks, FFGF to 77292. And it will let you know when the show happens. If you want to be on the Daily Toaster list, all you got to do is text Toaster to 77292. I'm trying to build back up the black signal so that people can start being aware when we're having these type of conversations, so that we can have people call in, we can argue, because the whole piece is, family, I don't give a damn whether or not you agree with me. But one of the things I can't allow a motherfucker to be walking around with me and be existing in the fucking illusion. I can't do that. Because one of the laws of my art, like I said, people be talking that my art shit to me. One of those rules is being able to distinguish the real from the unreal. And I feel that if you are in my family, I feel that it's my responsibility to be like, yo, family, there's some reality here we got to look at. It might be uncomfortable. It might be kind of scary. But I want you to know that when you enter the ring, what you're dealing with, and it can be beat. But as long as you on some fictional shit, you step in, it's like Quasi was talking about going into the boxing ring, and you got your hands tied behind your back, and you think that you going to win by shouldering this motherfucker? It's not going to happen. You on some illusionary shit. I can't have it. Family, we are in a country that is, for all intents and purposes, that is shut down. And the people that's going to be affected the most is black people. We are in a country that has changed the tax laws. And do you know who's going to be affected the most? Single black people. And do you know you exist in a country that was built up on the failure of black folks? And I could bring this all around to our brother R. Kelly, but I won't do that right now because I know y'all tired of talking about it. But it does raise a question. Right? It does raise some questions. Because I'll be on here for a whole nother hour but I posted up something about Yvette Carnell. She talks about the whole R. Kelly piece and how we might need to kind of pan out and look at this whole situation. Because I think a lot of us are focused on R. Kelly, when in fact there's a bigger issue. And a lot of us in the 2018, we're looking at it as the R. Kelly piece, as if this shit only existed with R. Kelly. But if we go back to the early 2000s, we go back to the early 1990s, we go back to the 1980s, we go to the 1970s, we see the same shit still brewing. Motherfuckers was trying to latch onto motherfuckers with money because they thought it was an escape hatch, and they thought they was able to get away from who we are. And you always have to come back. Can't escape. Can't escape. And the wealth gap is so serious that a dope boy at one point in time was able to take away your baby girl. Now, I ain't talking about your girlfriend. I'm talking about your actual daughters, because they were able to offer your children something that you was not able to offer. And the reason you could not offer that was not just because you wasn't working hard enough. It was not because you wasn't getting up early enough. It was because the system was set against your success from jump. You wasn't selected to succeed. Even some of them dope boys is selected. You know how I can prove that to you? And I prove that shit to you right now. Right? Anybody that know a dope man that's been in the dope business for over 30 years and has not been busted, that is a motherfucker that is a soul that is straight working for the police. Anybody that's able to sell dope in America for over 5 years without being busted. Anybody that's in America that's able to sell dope and come on now. Come on now. Y'all done seen all the movies. Y'all done seen all the CSS shows. Y'all done seen all this shit. And nobody could tell me that these motherfuckers, you gonna tell me that a motherfucker can outwit the greatest thief of all time, outwit the greatest murderer of all time, outwit these motherfuckers who have made a science of killing motherfuckers. You mean to tell me that there's a nigga in the hood that's that smart? And I don't doubt that there is. But you don't have as much practice as these motherfuckers. I'm just saying. So any of us that know somebody that's been out here selling dope for that long, we already know they work for the police. Bring it back to R. Kelly. This allowed individuals to develop a level of wealth that was not attainable by the regular means or by us doing the right thing, which for a reason, which is baked into the system, and we don't want to face that shit. We just want to turn around and point at each other. Nigga, you ain't working hard enough. Nigga, you can find work. Come on now. Come on now. Let's look at it. How did y'all... Miss Tracy, why you let me get on that shit? Quasi, why y'all supposed to stop me? I said we was... God damn it.
I thought you just wanted to ask the last words.
Nah, ain't that. Yeah, y'all gonna get the last words before I get up out of here, because I'm about to go off on this shit, man. Because y'all focus on R. Kelly when the problem is not R. Kelly. R. Kelly, what he does is terrible. But the problem, y'all focused on the wrong shit. But go ahead. And I know some people texting on that, but go ahead. Say your last word.
The R. Kelly shit is so deep that it's so multi-layered, and
there you go.
It's just another example. I think what we need to start doing, what we would benefit from doing, is start using this shit as a mirror, because ultimately the bigger issue than R. Kelly is that we continue to be locked into this. The people not only having a very limited perspective, being able to entertain one idea in our mind at a time, but somebody is implanting the idea that we're entertaining.
God damn.
Not only are we capable of entertaining multiple ideas at once, but we can also come up with the shit that we're entertaining. And that's kind of my biggest, the shit that's troubling me about this R. Kelly shit. That's all I want to say. That's perfect. I'm done.
But you ain't got nothing to say about the last word on the folktale? Because I kind of took it away from the folktale. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
on the folktale. I think that it's almost as if now, I guess to try to tie it all in, it's almost as if now we are both the Fowler and the Patridge. We're stealing from our own mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're dividing our own mind amongst itself and attacking our own mind. Like, we're killing each other at a whatever rate is happening. Even, you know, there's a lot of theories and speculations about all of the violence that's happening in the streets. But the part that we definitely play a role in, which is definitely a significant part, is starting within our own mind, and that Fowler and the Patridge is a perfect example of what's happening subconsciously, I think, in each of us as individuals.
All right, Miss Ford, it's on you. So what you gonna do?
In my perspective, I think it is be careful who you choose as your friends.
Got to. We got to. We circling the wagons, goddammit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be quiet. I'm sorry. Go on, finish.
Be careful who you choose as your friends. You know, it's kind of like observing, being a listener, paying attention, because his friends knew he was like that. You know, I don't know. I just think I think that's the lesson. Be careful who your friends are. You know, you have those that will send you up the river and won't think twice about you and call you a friend.
Ain't that some shit? That's the scariest shit right there for me. Oh my God. Oh my God, family. I want to thank you for joining us. I hope this was worth your time. So, hey, like I said, the conversation don't have to stop here. Keep it popping, like, and share. Y'all can follow us on YouTube. Matter of fact, I would love it if y'all followed us on YouTube as well, because we trying to build up the YouTube family so that we could do some other stuff. So, family, come on now. Let's get to building. Also, like us on Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Gye-Nyame Journey on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You go and follow us on all the shit. We up on all of it. You know what I'm saying? Everything but Instagram. I mean, I think we own Instagram too. I don't, You know, but this is Brother Hatim. I want to remind you that you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty. Oh man, Anime is on it tonight. Of course, you know, this has been Folktales for Grown Folks. We smashed another one. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. We do nothing but strive to blow up your old paradigms, because that's what's holding you hostage. I'm about to go cut my rap album now. I'm so hyped up right now. I'm ready to go rap. So I'm about to go to Kid Magic Studio and bust a couple of rhymes. I'm out.